Hey, everybody, this is Desmond Blackburn. Thank you so much for being here at this year's Purpose Conference. I'm excited to be presenting this year's topic to you, and I'm trusting that a lot of you are going to really enjoy it. What is it? How to avoid the perfection trap in both ministries and business. And also, matter of fact, the perfect plan for imperfect people. I'll be your host today, Desmond Antonio Blackburn, and I'm extremely excited to go ahead and be here. First of all, before we go any further, I want to go ahead and give special thanks to the amazing Zoe Association of Churches, Bishop Ed Smith, Josie Martin, and for all the amazing individuals who've been working very hard to go ahead and put together this conference together in this way. Right now, a lot of you are joining us locally as well as around the world. And again, I could not be more thrilled. So some of you guys are saying, okay, fine, this is interesting. Who is this guy that's giving this presentation? Well, first of all, as I've already mentioned, my name is Desmond Blackburn. I'm the founder of DAB, Imperfect Peak Performance Coaching, standing for Desmond Antonio Blackburn, LLC. And what I do is I'm a professional coach, not a life coach, mind you. I'm a clarity, strategy, and accountability coach. I work with high-performing professionals on a daily basis going forward. I'm also a full-time speaker as well as an author. I've written 3 books, including my latest book called How to Fire the Devil as Your Life Coach, Why Christians Fail and How to Stop. I'm also the host of the podcast Getting Clear with Coach Desmond. So needless to say, this is something I'm excited. This subject is something I'm excited about because it literally comes up every day in my practice. Right now, since August of 2019, I've had the privilege of getting a chance to work with over 125 professionals on that, from which 95% of them are talking about this very subject, dealing with currently and with the effects of perfectionism on that and how it operates, and sometimes it raises its ugly head in organizations. So we're going to go ahead and really get a chance to now do a bit of a deep dive and strap in, because you're going to be learning some new things, and hopefully this will go ahead and provide you some tools to go ahead and help you to go ahead and expand and accelerate in this season. So let's go ahead and get started, guys, because I'm excited about this. Quick question for you. Have you ever been called a perfectionist? Yeah. So you got to know that this has come up from time to time. Maybe that was you on that, or maybe you're working with individuals who basically have called themselves perfectionists. We're going to go ahead and do a bit of a deep dive in this area because, again, in my practice, I coach high performers, as you've already mentioned, who are used to doing well, but like most of you, they get stuck. Don't we all get stuck? Raise your hand if you know what I mean. Yeah. In fact, they know what they can do. They know what they should do. They just don't know why they're not doing it. Yeah, this is a common issue. Now, there are a lot of reasons why things just simply stop working. So the economy, matter of fact, change in relationship. Oh, I don't know, a pandemic. Yeah, a lot of different factors that go into this. However, of all the factors that can affect a sudden change in productivity, satisfaction, matter of fact, and satisfaction, what I'm seeing oftentimes, and in fact, it's very, very subtle, it's an unhealthy embrace of perfection that oftentimes is at the root of causing a lot of harm. Let's get into that. Today's presentation is designed to really expose that subtle role, of perfectionism, and how it plays in a person's ability to create blocks where there should be flow. We will demonstrate the differences between what perfection is and also the desire for excellence. Now, these are 2 separate things. Unfortunately, many people confuse them in thinking that we're talking about the same thing. If I'm a perfectionist, therefore I'm a person of excellence. Not necessarily, and we'll show you. We'll also show you how perfectionisms affect on business, relationships, and even ministries. And lastly, we'll discuss solutions on how to restore flow and increase happiness by encouraging an environment of excellence and removing perfectionist mindset. So let's get right into it. So what's wrong with being perfectionist? So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and now get into the definition so that you can understand what is the difference between the 2. So let's go ahead and define excellence. Excellence is being good at a good thing. It means that you strive to be the best you can be and to do the best you can. Excellence reflects moral value and therefore strives towards what is positive, valuable, and praiseworthy. Now, matter of fact, let me show you what this actually looks like. For those of us right now, you remember either you were in the class with this person or this was you. You're the one who set the curve in every class. That means basically, oftentimes it was your highest grade that basically determined how everybody else ended up doing. By the way, a little side note, we really didn't like you very much in high school. Also, too, you are also, too, the very president of everything. Manager of this, starter of that, you're starting this club, matter of fact, you're creating this, you're the person who's at the tip of the sword, you're the first chair, you're the first string on that. You are always getting promoted and becoming everyone's go-to. You care about the details and you are oftentimes rewarded for that. So what's wrong with that? Nothing. The spirit of excellence, as a matter of fact, this person genuinely cares about their performance, standards, process, procedures. However, now this is the distinction I want to make here. Although you have a lot of these things going on, your desire to be excellent, to do good, all those type of things, although you have that desire, matter of fact, desire and work to be the best, you have a healthy appreciation for when things go wrong. You can evaluate your shortcomings and move on. This group can emotionally and mentally take the win. This person can celebrate progress and give themselves permission to be happy. The only role that I've ever seen perfection ever play, and again, I've talked to a lot of these individuals on a day-to-day basis, the only role that I've seen that the spirit of perfection play is the role of thief. Perfection has only one job, and that job is to steal your joy. Perfectionists set an unrealistic standard for themselves and others. Only when I shoot an arrow always in the middle of the bullseye, while hopping on one leg and singing the aria from Frozen, then and only then can I give myself permission to be happy. With such a narrow and limited standard in which joy is allowed to be experienced, perfectionists rarely give themselves and others permission to be happy. Instead of taking the win, progress is often overshadowed by an unreasonable obsession to correct minor details on that minor errors, or to continue to find ways to please that one critic, even though a vast majority of family, friends, and colleagues are very well pleased with their work and indeed are praising it. Many of my clients realize that having a perfectionist mindset is, unsustainable. What used to work no longer does. With such a narrow window of narrow window to experience joy, happiness, perfectionists experience less and less joy in both their work and with the people around them. Yes, you see them. They're at the tip of the sword because of their amazing work, their due diligence. They're at the top of the income strata. They have the top position. They have the corner office. But with all their achievement, they are just simply a walking bowl of dissatisfaction, always dissatisfied with themselves, and most of all, making life a little bit difficult for those around them. They can be sometimes seen as discouraged, rigid, and at times even angry. So these are some of the effects that perfection can have on a business or ministry, okay? So take a look at these things here as cues because it's gonna be very, very important. First of all, a perfectionist mindset within an organization, particularly with individuals who are leading that organization, here are some of those type of expressions that you want to be looking out for. First of all or nothing attitudes. And also perfectionists get very, very limited. So when I say by limited, here's what I mean. On that, unless I get 100 on every test, I consider myself a failure. Matter of fact, no wiggle room at all for that. So even if you get a 95, which qualifies as an A in most places, you will still consider that a failure? Yeah. Quick pop quiz. How often do you think perfectionists actually feel satisfied with a mentality like that? Yeah. I would agree with you. Not a lot. Let's go ahead and keep going. Perfectionists are highly critical of themselves mostly. Their self-talk about themselves is absolutely rated R. Okay, they are not pleased with themselves, and then you got to go ahead and imagine that individuals who have that mindset about themselves probably aren't very well fun to be around, if you know what I mean. The thing about perfectionists is that they're oftentimes pushed by fear. Think about this. Every decision is being made out of fear. Huh. They're being pushed. So that way it's not necessarily, it now travels from a desire to get satisfaction for a job well done to now, I am now pushing hard because of this relative, dead or alive, wanted me to, or I perceive it, or there's a societal pressure, or because of my gender. Either way it goes, they're being pushed. In fact, they're definitely not in control of where this car is going because they're being pushed accordingly. And here's a quick reminder. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of love, power, and a sound, disciplined mind. So if we're basically being pushed and controlled, matter of fact, controlled by that or the fear of failure, question, why are we picking up the very thing that God told us to put down? We'll continue to keep going. Unrealistic standards and all stuff, creating an atmosphere of never ever being able to please that person. Can you imagine working for somebody like that? You can imagine that, in fact, that person basically now having to work under a pastor or an evangelist or whatever that situation is. Ooh, gets kind of rough and rugged. Oftentimes too, this, because of their high sense or unrealistic, in fact, connection to results and different things that matter, when they don't meet goals, oftentimes that can trigger into depression. And for some people, they can shake it off in a matter of minutes, but for others, they're still trying to recover from the last loss. And I don't know about you, for organizations who need to have every hand on deck, having a situation where your key people are now, quote unquote, taking themselves out of the game because they can't recover emotionally, because they're still brooding over the last mistake they made, really that takes that person from becoming an asset to now a liability. Okay. And also, and overall, once again, we're talking about in terms of fear of failure. Guys, one of the biggest telltale things that are basically hindering relationships, businesses, and ministries is that for people who basically embrace a perfectionist mindset have a real hard time trying. Why? Because they're consistently listening to a matter of fact, a tape recording in the back of their heads. It goes like this. If you can't do it right, don't do it at all. And they really take it to heart, the whole don't do it at all. So when it comes to new technology, trying something new, learning something new, oftentimes these individuals basically get stuck because unless they're able to have assurances or guarantee that I will be amazing the first time out, they oftentimes, just simply say, I won't even bother try. So what does that basically mean? Books that you intended to write aren't being written. Plays that's supposed to be produced aren't being produced. Nonprofits that got started, whatever it is, that loop in the back of the head that's going, if you won't do it right, don't do it at all, is now literally stopping and hindering, matter of fact, growth in both departments and entire organizations. And you may be wondering, how is this happening? Chances are a perfectionist mindset may be the blame. So how do you know if you have a spirit of perfectionism or just a desire for excellence? Well, guys, what I've done here today is put together a little story, and you let me know if you see yourself in it. All right, so here's a quick story here. So you've been asked to go ahead and now put together the company meeting. It's the one where all the brass and all high monkey mucks will go ahead and gather. So we want to really make a good impression. Fast forward, guess what? Congratulations, you did an amazing job. Now everybody's coming up to shake your hand, pat you on the back for a job well done. Even the CEOs and managers all over the place are talking about how great you are. Keisha, you did it again. But unfortunately, while everybody else smiles, you're not smiling. Why? What you don't know, what a lot of people don't know, is that the caterer that you hired showed up 1 hour late to the event. Now, due to some successful tap dancing on your part, you were able to go ahead and work it out. The food was amazing. People loved the event nonetheless. but you are refusing to what? Let it go. You're still brooding over that mistake. What could you have done differently? While everybody else now is planning the next event and talking about future plans, you're still ruminating over the old plans. You're still basically now brooding over things you cannot control. You're now out of the game, but most of all, you have deferred your joy. And that's the tragedy of all this. So, quick question. Is that you? Nod your head if you are. If that indeed is the case, guess what? You're a perfectionist. But don't worry, this is not terminal. You won't die from this. Let's go ahead and keep going here. So how can we fix this? This is the big question, and hopefully this coaching session will help you. That's right. Oh, by the way, you didn't know that this was a coaching session, did you? Yes, you are now being officially coached. You're welcome. All right. All right, wonderful. So how can we go ahead and fix this? First of all, I want you to go ahead and repeat after me. Okay, I will praise progress and not perfection. I am progress and not perfection. Not bad, right? Okay, so why are we doing this? All right, so what does this confession do? Don't worry, you're not going to catch the Holy Ghost and no balloons will go ahead and fall from the sky. Here's what you're going to go ahead and do. Praising progress and not perfection helps you to go ahead and redirect where your expectations should go. That's right. So if you're getting very, very narrow-minded in that regard, now this is basically will now serve as a cue to go ahead and say, hey, hold on a second. Let's look at what did work. Let's look at what did work and what didn't work and all stuff. So with this in mind then and all stuff, now you are now forced to go ahead and now do a good thing. Find out the things that actually made you happy. That's right. You know, I love, as a matter of fact, when I think about this, I'm thinking about a quote by Martin Luther King, and it goes like this. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, don't stop moving. Progress or perfection is based upon what this quote is talking about. Listen, at the end of the day, guys, what really makes us happy? Let me tell you, progress makes us happy. And when we're moving forward, I mean, listen, let's take, for example, a lot of folks out there trying to go ahead and lose weight. We love seeing that, hey, whether it's a pound or 2 or 5, what does that say? Listen, your goal weight may be 50 pounds. But knowing that you're moving in the right direction makes you happy. If you're if you're trying to go ahead and work towards a degree, knowing that you're getting past each and every test, and that's getting you closer and closer, that makes you happy. And when you are now making progress, which makes you happy, that 2 things start getting released: more energy and more enthusiasm. Yes. When a person is operating perfectionism, one of the things that seems to be really in matter of fact, really absent from their presence is what? Energy and enthusiasm. So guys, you're thinking that excellence, if I'm perfect, makes me happy. No, progress makes you happy. And when we make focus on the outcome of moving forward, we increase our pathways for joy. So instead of focusing so hard on the target, we begin to widen our gaze, and now we begin to see what? Opportunities everywhere, which leads me to another one of my favorite scriptures. I have a few on that. Proverbs 15:15 out of the New Living Translation. It goes like this: to the loathsome man, every day brings trouble, but to the happy heart, life is a continual feast. This is what happens when you basically now have widened your gaze, and now you begin to go ahead and see opportunities for what? Progress everywhere. So the loathsome man is brooding about things they could not control, brooding over the past. Whereas the person who has a happy heart, because progress is making them happy, they are literally picking up gold nuggets of revelation, literal riches, health, opportunities, networking opportunities everywhere. Pop quiz. Do you still want to be a perfectionist, or do you want to be the person who praises progress over perfection? My guess is the latter. Okay, let's keep it going. All right, so as we're on this train in regards to how can we fix this, one of my recommendations is that you get an accountability partner or a coach. In fact, that's what a lot of people hire me for. But again, hey, in your area, your neck of the woods, get an accountability coach, someone that can go ahead and hold you accountable and help you to go ahead and highlight those tendencies that you have, where you've gotten very narrow to basically now to where now they can go ahead and point out the areas where you can see progress. Guys, you didn't get here overnight, so it's probably not going to basically leave you overnight. And having an accountability partner or a coach in this situation can only help. It cannot hurt. Okay. Also, too, I want you to embrace the worst case scenario right up front. Now, hold on a second. Now, that isn't this kind of what perfectionists do already to kind of get in their head? Why are you recommending that they actually concentrate on the worst case scenario? Just follow me with this situation. All right. So oftentimes, one of the worst things about being a perfectionist is that you have matter of fact, you have a very, very hard time just simply trying new things because you feel you can't master it the first time out. So to help you relax yourself, to be able to go ahead and now get in the position to try, here's what I want you to say. Warning, you will feel silly for saying this, but hey, it works. Here's how it goes. So you're about to go ahead and come to that thing, whether meeting somebody for the first time, doing an event and all stuff, trying to do it afraid, whatever. Here's what you end up doing right now in private or preferably out loud. I want you to say, it's gonna suck. And that's okay. Now, some of you out there who are probably saying, man, who is this guy? Man, this is crazy. And hopefully, like I said, you guys got a nice chuckle out of that. Imagine saying that a couple times. What do you think is going to go ahead and happen? It starts bringing down the temperature, the quote unquote chance of a lifetime, the either or. This matter of fact, if this doesn't get done, it will never happen again. Those type of mindsets that paint you in a corner. When you basically give yourself permission to fail and say, hey, it's okay. Oftentimes, individuals who basically find themselves stuck now start realizing I have some wiggle room here. And since they already know that they're probably going to go ahead and suck, and they now take off the expectation of excellence at that moment so they can go ahead and try on that, typically it works out well. Because what a lot of people don't know is that everything that we own, everything, this shirt, that cell phone that you're watching right now, and also, matter of fact, the smartphone, excuse me, matter of fact, that TV you're watching, that laptop you're watching right now, you got to go ahead and know that everything that you've ever seen, ministries that you're a part of, all started off going through the 5 pillars of progress. Wait, you never heard of the 5 pillars of progress? Let me go ahead and enlighten you. So think about this. Anytime you try to go ahead and do something new, whether it was playing football, matter of fact, starting ballet, maybe it was in regards to matter of fact, trying to go ahead and basically start a new language on that, or maybe even play the guitar. Here's how we all started. Step 1, first you're gonna suck. Step 2, then you're gonna suck less. Step 3, then you're gonna be okay. Then step 4, then you're going to actually get good. And then step 5, then you're going to become great. Yes. Every time someone has decided to go ahead and do something new, everybody has gone through some version of this 5 steps up, 5 pillars of progress. The problem with perfectionists is that they're under the assumption that everybody they admire has always been good and born out the gate. Nothing follows that. This is in reality. So guys, once you go ahead and understand that, now we will hopefully allow you to go ahead and exhale and recognize that you are in the right place at the right time to go ahead and keep on trying, knowing that if you follow the 5 pillars of progress, you will get to great. I guarantee it. Listen, what we're doing right now is really designed just to go ahead and help to remove the stigma behind making mistakes going on here. And as leaders, I'm really encouraging a lot of you, not only leaders in your home, not only leaders in your organization, but leaders in your home, remove the stigma. Instead praise people, your groups, your children for stepping out and trying. Stuff. Too many individuals right now are trying to go ahead and simply just Matter of fact, responsibilities from one side to another, hoping that someone else can go ahead and look silly so that you can be the person saying, boy, I knew that wasn't going to work. No. So how you can go ahead and do that is really encouraging, matter of fact, encouraging individuals to make mistakes and trying. Good things have come out of that. They always has. Also, too, as a leader, maybe you're at the high echelon now. You went through your own personal 5 pillars of progress, and now you're now financially wealthy. Now you're well known within the organization and even maybe around the world. Maybe you're rich, maybe you're famous, maybe you're just very prominent and well respected. But now you're trying to go ahead and you're trying to go ahead and encourage an atmosphere. How can we go ahead and do that? Here's how you can do that. Tell your story. Listen, it hasn't always basically been rainbows and unicorns for you on that. It took a while before you got here. And even though they didn't see the times that you fell down, you did. Being transparent and sharing that story really helps to encourage those around you to go ahead and understand if she can do it, gosh, maybe I can do it too. If she went through an embarrassing time or really stepped out when they felt they were scared anyway, I can do it too. Being able to go ahead and basically be transparent at key times, whether in private or with a group, can make all the difference in terms of helping to go ahead and create an atmosphere where individuals are not frozen in fear for fear of failure and fear of not looking perfect. All this stuff works, guys. I know it sounds silly, but but again, if you follow some of this advice here and all stuff, you'll be getting the same great results that a lot of my clients are getting. So I got one last thing that I feel it can go ahead and help you. And this is going to be my gift to you. Guys, listen, I know this stuff works. And for some of you right now, you're probably saying, Des, this was absolutely amazing, but I want to go ahead and get a little bit more of a deep dive. I know this has been, matter of fact, maybe affecting, matter of fact, my ministry, maybe affecting my business or company, maybe affecting me personally on that. I'd like to go ahead and get a little bit more into that. And if that's indeed the case, I want to go ahead and make this offer to every single person who is attending the Purpose Conference, okay? I want to go ahead and give everyone here a complimentary one-on-one coaching session with me for free. That's right. It's absolutely complimentary going on here. And if you're saying, hey, listen, man, gosh, this is exactly what I need, great. So you may be asking, Des, I'm in. How do I do this? All you got to do is pick up your smartphone. It's the one that you've been playing on all day anyway. In fact, this is your smartphone here. I want you to go here and simply text 21,000 on that and put in coach me. That's right. All one word, no spaces, 21,000, put in coach me. And that will open up into a scheduling link that will allow you to go ahead and choose a day and time that you would prefer. And I can't wait to work with you. If you're viewing me right now on your laptop, you can also feel free to go to my online website, which is coachdesmond.com. And that will also lead you into the scheduling app. Either way it goes, works for me. All right, guys, thank you so much. This has been wonderful, but hey, don't let this be the last time I see you. Please follow me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Let me know what you thought about today's subject. I hope you found it helpful. Okay, guys, this again has been my honor. Thank you so much for giving me a moment. I hope I was able to go ahead and give you value again. Big shout out again and appreciation to Zoe Christian Fellowship, as well as Zoe Association of Churches, Bishop Ed Smith, Josie Martin, and the entire staff. Thank you so much for the honor and privilege to be a part of this amazing movement. Okay, guys, I gotta go, but before I do, let me remind you, be great and stay clear. God bless you.